Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things. Oh goodness. Well, say that's a little bit of John Crow from Moonlight Existence. And yes, this is an album. So tonight we're going to do a little bit different. Instead of a book, kind of going off the music's theme. And that was John Crow, or also known as Jason Nelson from back in the day. All right, so we'll run down with a quick tidbit of how it came to be with Moonlight Existence and John Crow. I kind of had always wanted to be in music. And so whenever I heard a group of guys, Dwayne Baxter, Jason Horn, Ed Meyer, and John Gamble playing, they were, I think it was Lug, I can't remember, but they didn't really have somebody that was representing them. And so I said, you know what guys, let me be your dude and take you around so that we can get some gigs and stuff like that. And we actually sat down and kind of changed up the name of the band a little bit and called it Dedingston. Now, one of my buddies, Steve Livingston, and we always joked, were there any Dedingstons in the family? And so that's kind of how we came up with that. And we actually did a button also whenever we had stood outside the McDonald's and asked for money to support the local band. So we weren't lying, it just happened to be that we were the local band. So that was kind of cool. Now, Dwayne Baxter, I can't remember what happened, but ultimately he stepped aside, and so I filled in for the vocals. And it was awesome to be able to hang out with those guys and play some music and tunes with them. And then we were able to actually record a couple songs with Black River, Sam, Rocket Lad, and Full Moon. And Full Moon, all jokes aside. But one of the funny songs was actually called Funny Bone. And it was Hit Me in My Funny Bone, and it freaking hurt. Hit me so hard, made my whole body jerk. Hit me once, hit me twice during my whole life. So why did you hit me in my funny bone? Well, that was talking about, originally it was called Nancy Kerrigan. So, haha. But with the help of my dad, we actually were able to put down a tape, and so kind of made a John Crow cassette tape. And then, of course, Music Revolution, we had CDs. So we had a John Crow CD, and of course, this awesome group of individuals called Vinylify out of the Netherlands. What you can do is you download your music to them and design your cover and everything, and they will send you an actual vinyl album of your music. So that has got to be the coolest thing to be able to do. So if you ever get the chance, or you have some stuff that you want to put together, little mixed vinyl as it would be, you can do that. And on here I actually put in memory of Jason Horn, because he was our little drummer boy and he passed away. But yeah, so that was John Crow, a little bit of Rocket Lad on the old turntable. Now, transitioning to another track, as it would be, my dad actually was big into music also whenever I was not in the picture. But back in the day, whenever he started doing music, he was a drummer. And so he actually made real good friends with Jason Horn, our drummer from Dedingston. But the cool thing was that it was some high school buddies and stuff like that, and made up Webb of Sound. Now, Webb of Sound, they did really well. They would win competitions and different kinds of things like that. They actually got to be on the radio too. This is actually called Down and Dirty. So whenever my dad transitioned to the college scene, he actually put some tracks down on reel-to-reel. So check that out. I don't want to mess it up. But this was the original recording. And the cool thing about it is that my grandpa, I think it was Grandpa Jim, got to play guitar on some of the tracks. And so if you listen now, through the magic of TV, I'll play a little bit for you. That's a little bit of, I think it's Jesus Take Me Home off of Down and Dirty. Side note, as I like to do, their saxophone player, Webb of Sound, he was actually an African-American gentleman. My dad told me the story about how one time that they had gone to do, I think it was a wedding, and they show up and they start to go inside, and the people that were paying them said, hey, he can't come in, talking about their saxophone player. And my dad was kind of like, well, why not? And they said, well, because he's black. And they're like, okay, he's a member of the band, so we're Webb of Sound. We're kind of a package deal. If he can't come in, we can't come in. And so they thought that they were going to do scare tactics on my dad and his friends because they were, teenagers. And they're like, we're good. Catch you later. And so that was a kind of neat for me, is to know at a young age my dad was able to stand up for his morals and things like that, and determined to not let people walk over other people. But all right, well, I appreciate you guys coming out and listening to some tunes from John Crow and rocking out, and then also a little bit of Down and Dirty from Ken Nelson, my music bridge to the past. So glad that you know, and now go do something for you as well with a little bit of music. See you next time. Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things.